Thank you, Marina. Indeed, on stage here with Philippe. Philippe and I have known each other for a long time. I think we're almost of the same generation. 30 years of hotel experience, Philippe, with many of the big brands that you've worked with, always or most of your career in development of this region. We're going to have a great discussion, I think, on certainly on the foundations of Daniel's outset. And what caught my eye also was the interest rates coming down, where the ECB has just increased it for another 25 basis points. But if that comes down, I'm sure that's going to be an influence on your business, wouldn't it be?
Yes, it will. And I would like to, if you allow me for a minute, to jump on what Daniel say. And Daniel, I'm glad I'm not called Jean-Louis. So we have a situation in the hotel industry where it's a total paradox. And if you don't mind, sure, Dirk, I would like to talk about hotel values. In 2020, if you remember well, 3 years ago, most of the hotels were closed. They reopened in June, reclosed again with the second wave of COVID, and open again in 2021. And at that time, the values were X. Today, 2023 is going to be a record year in hotel performance. Wherever you go, within Accor, outside of Accor, all my competitors, everybody's happy, everybody's smiling about hotel performance. In Europe, across Europe, leisure, business, city, wherever you look, no matter which segment, it's positive, is above 2019, where all the predictions were we were supposed to go back to 2019 in 2025 or 26 for the most pessimistic people. So, outstanding performance, and guess what? Hotel values are down. That's why the transactions are not happening. It's a total paradox, and if you were asking me the biggest surprise I ever had in my career in the hotel real estate sector is hotels outperforming, values down. And it's simple. The equation is very simple. The interest rates are dragging down the values. We were borrowing at 1 or 2%, and the yield expectation from investors were around 3 to 4. So today we borrow at 5, and the yield expectation are 7, 8. So of course values are down. But for hotel owners willing to sell hotels, yeah. No way, no, I cannot. My hotel had a much higher value when it was closed in 2020. How come? So this is a big paradox. The second point on what Daniel said about this region. Sorry, I'd let you on.
That's okay, go on.
It's
go
okay?
Ahead.
No,
go
because if not, I will not remember, because I'm...
Why is that? Did you have a late night last night?
Guess what? I wonder who I should blame on that. Oh, now I realize I speak in the microphone, and before I was not. Should I repeat what I said before? No, oh, no, it's okay. No. So it's about this region, what we call Eastern Europe. It represents 20 countries, more or less. I'm responsible for a large Europe. I call it a Eurovision Europe because it includes Central Asia and Israel and all kind of... And
excluding Russia, I hope.
Yeah, of course. And no, we stopped completely in Russia. And in this region, we signed so far more or less 60 new hotels in Europe, 1/3 in this region. It's outstanding. It's amazing. It's not because I have a great team. They're sitting here, Frank and Maria and Dilek, but they did an outstanding job. But it shows the resilience and how this region has adapted better than other countries. The agility of the region, it's outstanding. And you mentioned it, Daniel, and I'm glad we agree on this point as well. That's all I wanted to say.
This was a great introduction. Thank you very much. Now let's get into some questions. So the two things in your 30 years experience, are there two things that you can mention that you remember as a significant change in the industry?
Wow.
The interest rates is maybe one.
Why you don't send questions before? No, I think one thing was significant is the multiplication of brands. When I started, we had Hilton with one Hilton,
That's right.
one brand, and every big company had one or two brands.
Accor had Novotel, Ibis.
Yeah,
Etap.
Accor, Novotel, Ibis, Etap,
And how
Mercure.
many brands do you have now?
Hotel brands is 42, and if we add the other brands which are not hospitality related, or no, they are hospitality related, it's augmented hospitality, 55 brands.
So we live in the age, basically, as Daniel also said, it's experience, experience, experience. It used to be location, location, location. Now it's experience, experience, experience. The thing that happened during COVID, we saw after COVID, people started working more remote. Therefore, you're starting to see more blended hotel concepts coming in, where the experience of eating, drinking, sleeping, entertaining, and working has now seemed to be fashionable. After this financial crisis we're in, because the financial crisis we are in terms of hotel transactions is actually worse than the GFC we were in, because the economy really has come to a standstill when it comes to transactions. What would you think coming out of this? Because we will get out of this, I'm sure. And when the interest rates start coming down, they start stabilizing, then price parity will come in. Will there be an effect that you see coming towards the next 5 to 10 years? What is the trend you see happening?
Wow, I wish I knew. If I go back to your first question, the second thing I've learned is that no matter how experienced you are, what got you here won't get you there. So we have living in a fantastic industry where we have to reinvent ourselves all the time, all the time. Over 30 years, every time I thought I know, I discovered a few months later that I don't know, or I know very little. So to answer your question, we have to be extremely agile and more than ever, and adapt our properties, the way we develop hotels, the way we address customers, the way we design rooms and public areas to the new trend, to the new. I don't know if it's a trend. I think it will last long. The testimony of this trend is traffic. I live in Paris, you all live in big cities. The big traffic evening is Thursday night now. It's not Friday night any longer. I don't know if you noticed. So this is a new trend. So that means also that room nights are sold on Thursday night, where business people was used to leave the hotels. So weekenders starts coming on Thursday night. And they don't automatically leave on Sunday morning. They also stay on Sunday night because they can work remotely on Monday. So this enormous change in our working habits and needs for us in the hotel industry to adapt. And no matter in which segment, whether it's luxury, mid-scale, even economy, we need to adapt to these new trends.
Yeah, so that brings me with all the brands that are now, that you have with Accor, 42 brands you said, Hilton has got 30 odd brands or 20 somewhat brands, Marriott's got the same. If you would have 50 million of, let's say, Marina's money to spend, where would you invest it in the hotel industry? What kind of concept would you invest it in? It's a tough one.
Yes. First of all, I will organize a very big party with part of the money. No, I'm kidding. I never do that. No, I think I will invest probably in IB style, close to a station, a railway station.
Yeah, because people start traveling, are becoming more conscious.
Train is going to be the biggest growth in the way of travel. I think train stations are improving. They are, except in Brussels.
Yeah.
But I was there last week. Amazing. And I really believe, and you can see in the performances of hotels,
Yeah.
the ones by the stations are absolutely amazing.
This obviously has to do with climate and Brussels demanding all kinds of changes that we need to adapt to. Also, the climate changes are very much on everybody's mind these days. The younger generation is very conscious of the world we live in and of the inheritance that we leave behind to next generations. But we've all seen this year, we've seen forest fires, we've seen floods, we've seen extreme heat, storms, hurricanes where they would never be before. Even the traditional southern European areas like Greece or Sicily, where it became so hot. Is that something that you consider a threat? Would it make sense to keep investing in those areas, or perhaps we should build resorts in the Nordics?
I don't know where we should build resorts, but certainly we have to do something. Every one of us in this industry, and here there's no competition or whatsoever, we need to do something about we are a big consumer of.
But let me be more specific and make it a bit easier.
I'm not done yet.
No, I know, but these temperature changes and these climate changes, yeah. Do you feel that it's affecting the decision-making process to build hotels?
I cannot answer that. I think we are building hotels. I think that the change is about how we build hotels and what type of hotels we are building. I don't know if we stop building hotels by the coast or in the mountains, or we are careful. In the mountains, we used to look at level of snows and in the French Alps and all that. Now we know that summertime is doing great in the mountains. The number of days the hotel open in the mountains has doubled. It used to be 120 days more or less. Now it's around 250 days. So I think the consumer habits have changed. But if I go back to ESG and climate change and what we have to act on, yeah. It's funny. We have to do it for the good reason, for planets, because we live in it. But we have also to do it and I go back to hotel values. Today, hotel values are affected by the non-compliance of the buildings to the regulations or non-future compliance to regulations. So we have to save energy. We have to reduce our consumptions on every angles. We have removed plastics from everywhere. All of our hotels with no plastics, almost in 98% of our hotels have no plastic anymore. I mean, single-use plastics. And I'm glad to see also that our competitors are following as well and are doing the same thing. So I think it's very important to know that economically we have to do it, and morally we have to do it as well. So,
yeah. So last question on this topic, because I'm conscious of time as well. Recycling of buildings is not a new thing, because we've been doing it for a long time. Older buildings are suitable sometimes for hotel use. In today's world, would you still recommend, or do you see a trend changing from new build to recycling older buildings, so conversion basically? Is that not also something that's a sustainable thing? How do you see that? What's your take on that?
I think with the new habits I mentioned before about people living on Thursday and working from home a lot of time, the use of office space is going to be a little bit affected by that. And I think it's a great opportunity to be able to recycle offices into hotels. About new construction, I have to say, we will have to rethink also the way we design new constructions of hotels. I think the mixed use is now mandatory almost. The cost of construction have increased by 25%, debt has tripled. So at the moment there is no, in Western Europe at least, Germany, France, UK, all the new constructions of hotels are stopped. I mean, the one who started before the crisis, they continue, of course, but the new ones is completely paralyzed. So we have to rethink. And, you know, we did it. You and I remember, we built hotels with 8% interest rates and high cost of construction, all that. So we can do it again. It just takes some time for the market to adapt and to rethink and to rethink the way we do. But I strongly believe the mixed use, and in Eastern Europe, they well understood that before everyone else. A mix of hotel and bread and residences, mix of hotel, bread and residences, and retail. That's the way now you need to change your project in order to make it happen and get the right financing.
Yeah, I agreed.
I do believe.
Agreed. Hey, with the reduction of business travel, another topic we should touch on. We've seen after COVID that business travel has not come back to the levels where it was. It has changed a
bit.
Will there be? There is obviously more leisure travel. We've seen that happening as well. The experience seekers are very much on the rise. Is there still a future for conservative, business-orientated brands? Let's say a core brand like Marriott, this one, or Novotel. When you talk about our core hotels, is there still a future for those hotels, or should we move more to the 25 hours kind of hotels that offer an extreme experience?
I do believe that I don't believe traditional way of designing hotels is going to have a long future. We need to change. We need to even the traditional brands. I believe, for example, Novotel today. The new Novotels are completely different from what it was when the first one was built back in the 70s. Or new Mercures could be considered lifestyle hotels. IB Style is certainly becoming a lifestyle brand more and more. I was in one last week, and there was music, and there was a DJ, and there was a very busy bar and restaurant. So I think we are going there also with traditional brands. We have to. This is what people want. Again, going back to this habit of leisure guests also coming to work, also coming to play, and work from the hotel with the family around and all that. We have to adapt our products to that, and hotels have to be more attractive and more fun, I believe.
Last question on that one as well. What's your view on extended stay? Is that growing? Is that reducing? Is that staying the same?
Growing, definitely. We have extended stay brands in Accor that you all know, Adagio, with the 3 different levels: Adagio, Access, Adagio, and Adagio Living. And now we are also starting in Eastern Europe, actually, to grow the Novotel Living, Mercure Living, and even Movenpick Living, to have a combination of extended stay units together with normal hotel rooms, because it's a growing market. The demand is very high for this type of accommodation.
A very tough question to end with. Of all the 42 brands you have, is there any brand that you don't have but would like to have?
Marriott?
Marriott. Okay, let's leave it to that, because now.
No, I'm kidding. No, guys. No.
Knowing Sébastien Bazin, I mean, maybe it could happen. Thank you very much, Philippe. We've run. Time's up. It says there on the screen. And,
okay, thank you, Dirk.